I'd like to call this council and committee meeting to order. Before we proceed, I want to acknowledge that the land upon which we are gathered is the traditional territory of the Adirondack, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe people. We are the beneficiaries of ancient agreements, such as the dish with one spoon, between the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee, who agreed to share the abundance of the land through peace, friendship, and mutual respect. The two-row wampum, by which the Haudenosaunee welcomed the settlers and agreed to share the land in mutual respect. And the Treaty of Niagara, considered a fundamental document by First Nations in all future relations and treaties with the British. We recognize that we have a responsibility to be stewards of the land in cooperation and collaboration with the Indigenous people, not only for one generation, but for all generations to come. We understand that we have an obligation to learn the lessons of our history, educate ourselves about the experiences of the Indigenous people, and seek opportunities to heal the wounds that will result in reconciliation with our Indigenous sisters and brothers. Many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people live and work in Fort Erie. We stand with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. We have the good fortune to live in a land of such abundance, diversity, and beauty. Let us be vigilant in protecting Turtle Island. Mr. Clerk, the roll call.
Your Worship, all members of council are present.
Thank you. We have one addendum this evening, and that is the deletion of report PDS 60-2024 until some further information from staff is obtained. And a couple of brief announcements. Today was the annual Rick Schuler Memorial Stakes, and despite the fact that it was thundering and lightning before the race, as soon as the bell rang, and Councillor McDermott was there, he can verify this, as was MPP Wayne Gates. As soon as the bell rang to start the race, the sun came out. It's unbelievable. And so for that whole race, it was sunny, and then the race was over, and it got cloudy again. So I don't know what that says, but I think it's positive in terms of Councillor Rick Schuler, whom we all remember. And I must say that it's hard to believe, but this December it will have been 10 years since his passing. And I think about Rick Schuler frequently, and I think about his presence in the community, in this council chamber, and the many, many good times that I had with him for sure. So his wife Sue was there, and his niece Sarah. They're here every year, and they arrange this, and appreciate the Fort Erie Racetrack from hosting this event. Speaking of the Fort Erie Racetrack, tomorrow is the Prince of Wales Stakes, and the race card starts at 1 o'clock. The Prince of Wales Stakes is a little bit later on, but you don't want to miss the action. It's always a great day, and I'm advised by the general manager of the track that he's put in for good weather, so I guess we'll see what happens. Okay, declarations of pecuniary interest. There are none. There are no notices of upcoming public meetings or open houses. There are no public meetings this evening. That takes us to Planning and Development Services, and that is Councillor Christensen.
Thank you, Your Worship. Their Planning and Development Services is now in session. There are no presentations and delegations. There are no reports. There is a new business, a memorandum from Ms. Air back to the plan review and public spaces summary. Are there any questions or comments?
You need to move it.
Oh, sorry, pardon. Mover. Okay, Councillor Dubanow. Councillor Noyes, you have a question?
More of a comment in regards to that. I'm glad it took a lot of effort to do this, but we now have, instead of 989 participants, we have 1,800 participants in the official plan, and I know it was I know it takes a lot of not a lot of the staff. I know it takes dedication from the staff to do it, and the 5 different places that they went. But again, I think I've said this repeatedly that we need, if they don't come to us, we have to go to them, and to do an official plan with only a small number of people. We're going to have more questions on the rear end than on the front end. So I'm thrilled that our approach has improved things, and that the participation is there. They can't say that we didn't try. Thank you.
next item is the business status report. Are there any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just want to caution staff that this is 14 reports. Some of them I see are marked tentative, so that we need to make sure that we can manage this agenda, because there will be reports from other departments as well. So let's make sure that unless it's ready to go and doesn't have to be on here, we don't want to be putting it on this agenda. Thank you.
Any other comments? Very much. That ends this meeting of the planning.
Thank you very much, Councillor Christensen. We're right on pace. That takes us to Infrastructure Services, Councillor Lewis.
This is where it goes off the rails.
Not if I can help it.
I'd like to call Infrastructure Services to committee session to order. There are no presentations or delegations. There is one report, IS 0824, traffic calming measures on Washington Road. If I can get a mover, Your Worship.
I think it's already on the floor.
Oh,
Yeah, it's already
sure.
on the floor. But I have
Yep.
a question. So I'm going to support this report with a modification, and I've had a number of conversations with staff with respect to this. They've been good enough to provide me with the wording for an amendment, which really goes to the most contentious issue in this recommendation, which has to do with the closure of the access from Dominion Road onto Washington. So it seems to me that the other traffic calming measures that are being recommended will probably result in a reduction in traffic on Washington Street, which seems to be the objective of the traffic calming measures in the first instance. So rather than going right to the closure of Washington at Dominion, I'm going to move that Council amends Report IS 08-2025 by removing Appendix 2, Study Corridor for the Neighborhood Traffic Calming Study and Key Characteristics of the Study Corridor, and replace it with Appendix 2 attached to the staff memorandum dated September 9th, 2024, in order to maintain current traffic flow with the proposed speed cushions, and further, that Council amends the recommended conceptual traffic calming plan identified on page 3 of Report IS 08-2025 to remove item 4, install a directional closure on the southeast corner of Dominion Road and Washington Road intersection to restrict vehicles turning in from Dominion Road. So, Chair, that would effectively allow us to proceed with the other recommended closures and keep access from Dominion onto Washington open. And just want to get confirmation of that from Mr. Frost.
Through your worship, yes, our staff have asked our consultant to confirm that the removal of the turn restriction would still support the intended efforts of the traffic calming policy.
Your Worship.
Okay, so I'm good, and I'm hoping everyone will support this so we can move forward with some traffic calming for safety purposes, but still allow for a flow of traffic.
Any questions to the amendment or clarity on the amendment? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Carried. And then, yep, so that brings us back to the amended, would it be bringing it back to the amended report?
Yes.
So if I can call the question, are there any questions? Seeing none, if I can call the question, all those in favor? Carried. That brings us to new business and inquiries. Any questions from council? Seeing none, the business status report. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I will turn the chair back over to you, Your Worship.
Fine job, Councillor Lewis. Councillor Noyes is marking where we are. So that takes us to Corporate and Community Services. Councillor Flagg, don't let us down.
I will try my best. Corporate and Community Services now in session. There are no presentations, delegations. There are no reports. Any new business inquiries? Seeing none. Any questions on the business status report? That brings that to a close. I'll turn the chair back to you.
Well done. Yes, I think that is the new modern record. Thank you very much, Councillor Flagg. That takes us to scheduling of meetings. Any forthcoming meetings that anyone wishes to alert us to? Councillor Lewis?
We do have the Crystal Beach Business Improvement Association meeting on Wednesday, 6 p.m. at Crystal Ridge Library.
That would be September the 11th. What time is that at? 6
6
o'clock?
o'clock
And at 5 o'clock on Wednesday is the dedication of the new bench.
to
Don Lubert's
at
memory.
5 p.m. at Bay Beach.
That's correct. Okay. Councillor McDermott? Okay. Somebody else's hand up? Councillor Noyes?
There's a traffic coordinating committee meeting on Wednesday, the 18th of September.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that date?
Wednesday, the 18th of September at 12 p.m. in Committee Room 1.
Thank you. Any other meetings? Councillor Christensen?
There will be a Fort Erie Public Library meeting at the Centennial Branch at 4:30 on September 17th.
Thank you. And Councillor Dubanow?
Yes, Your Worship. The Museum and Cultural Heritage Advisory Committee is going to have a meeting on Wednesday, September 18th at 1 p.m. here at Town Hall in Conference Room 2.
Okay. Are there any other meetings? If not, then Councillor Dubanow, can I go to you for the motion to adjourn?
Absolutely, Your Worship. I'd like to move that council and committee adjourn at 6:12 p.m. this evening.
All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, Councillor Christensen, we're not done yet. We have a special council meeting, so don't, that could be dragged out, so we're going to have to. Yeah, I think that is. Okay, so then, I'm going to call this special council meeting to order, and we've already done the land acknowledgement. Mr. Clerk, the roll call, please.
Your Worship, all members of council are present.
And declarations of pecuniary interest. Councillor Flagg.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm going to declare a conflict at 8.292/2024, the bylaw amendment 142/2023 regarding the land exchange, Sears High Point. My wife and I are parties to that exchange.
Okay, thank you. So when we come to that, we'll deal with that bylaw separately. We have a closed session matter, and Councillor McDermott, you have a resolution for us to move into closed session?
Yes, Your Worship. I move by myself, seconded by Councillor Christensen. The council does now go into closed session at 6:13 p.m. to consider the following: 6.1 Bridgeburg Station Downtown Business Improvement Area Board of Management closed session meeting minutes, August 28, 2024, pursuant to Section 239B of the Municipal Act 2001, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor? That is carried, so we'll go into closed session now, and we'll deal with our business. right, so we're back in the council chambers, and Councillor Lewis, you have the resolution for us to rise and reconvene from closed session.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Christensen. The council does now rise and reconvene from closed session at 6:32 p.m. with report. The council receives and supports the Bridgeburg Station Downtown Business Improvement Area Board of Management closed session meeting minutes from August 28th, 2024, and the clerk will proceed as directed.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor? None opposed, that is carried. That then takes us to consideration of bylaws, and we have, yes, we're going to deal with these separately. Councillor Flagg, you have the bylaw, the resolution for first and second reading of bylaw 91.
I do, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Christensen, that bylaw 91, 2024 to designate 164 Point Avenue Road South as being of cultural value or intersect is given first and second reading.
All those in favor? Opposed? Yeah, it's on the floor now, so it's on the floor. Are you opposed, or you opposed? This is bylaw 91, and so first and second reading, we get it on the floor. Now it's on the floor for questions or comments. Councillor Noyes.
Okay, I don't know if you guys, yours looks like mine, and I did mention it to Mr. Todd, that my two things, what's it called? My statement of cultural heritage starts on page 31, and my Schedule A to bylaw 91-2024-59 is a checkerboard. So I'm not sure.
So the statement of cultural heritage value is taken from the ARA report.
So it's supposed to start on page 31.
So that starts on page 31, and that's just without putting in the whole
Okay.
report. And I'm sorry, you said schedule,
Schedule A to bylaw, I have,
right, and schedule,
oh, now it's showing up. Okay, it's showing up.
yeah, and that
Just
shows,
fix it.
that's the reference plan that shows where the property, remember the reference plan was requested by the property owner so that it was clearly defined which part of the property would be subject to the designation.
I guess my question is, because when I didn't have a whole, well, only that part, are these people in favor of this, or are they opposed to this?
Ms. Delwaria.
Your worship, through you to the councillors, yes, the owners are supportive of this designation.
Then I have no problem.
And that's, they're supportive as a result of the reference plan? Yeah, okay. Okay. So I'm going to go then to Councillor Noyes. You have third and final reading for this bylaw. You should have it. It's number 8.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Christensen that bylaw number 91-2024 is given third and final reading to be signed by the mayor and the clerk under the corporate seal.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Unopposed, that is carried. I've noticed that Councillor Christensen has seconded every resolution so far. Is,
I think it's a theme that's going to continue.
She came in early and just went around and signed.
okay, the designated seconder. Okay, so that's going to take us to bylaw number 92, and Councillor Flagg, you indicated you're going to leave the chamber. Okay, Councillor Dubanow, you have first and second reading for that bylaw.
I do, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Christensen that bylaw 92, 2024 to amend bylaw 142, 2023 regarding the land exchange for the Spears High Point pedestrian corridor is given first and second reading.
All those in favor? Unopposed, that is carried. That bylaw is on the floor for any questions or comments. And the streak is broken because, Councillor Christensen, you have the next resolution. Third and final reading.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McDermott. The bylaw 92, 2024 is given third and final reading to be signed by the mayor and clerk under the corporate seal.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor? That is carried. That takes us, do you want to let Councillor Flagg know that we're moving on now? That takes us then to the ratification bylaw, and Councillor McDermott, you have first and second reading for that. And let me guess, Councillor Christensen seconds this? Go ahead.
She's been very busy, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Christensen, that bylaw 93-2024 to confirm the actions of council at its special council meeting held on September 9, 2024 is given first and second reading.
All those in favor? None opposed, that is carried. Councillor Flagg.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Christensen that bylaw 93-2024 is given third and final reading, signed by the mayor and clerk under the corporate seal.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor? That is unanimous. This is, if Councillor Christensen has seconded your motion to adjourn, then this is the first council meeting in the history of the town of Fort Erie where one councillor has either moved or seconded every resolution. Congratulations, Councillor Christensen. Councillor Dubanow.
Yes, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by you-know-who, Councillor Christensen, that council adjourns at 6:38 p.m. to reconvene into a regular meeting of council on September 23rd, 2024.
All those in favor? That is carried. We missed by a minute.
1 minute.
I-